Input service distributor. Changes being made and provisions relating to input service distributor, including extension of this facility to transfer input service credit to outsource manufacture under certain circumstances. Now, certain circumstances would mean a job worker or a contract manufacturer who's bearing the manufacturer's brand name. So in those cases, the ISD can now transfer the credit to these people also, which is again a very welcome thing, because there was, I think there was this case on Coca-Cola where they have clarified this earlier, but advertising cost or something which cannot be transferred to these people, now this can be transferred. The amendments in these rules will also enable manufacturers with multiple manufacturing units to maintain common warehouse for inputs and distribute inputs with credits to individual manufacturing units. So what happens is you can have one warehouse where you can put in all your inputs and everything, and that can be distributed to your own manufacturing units.
Right.
And the warehouse can also issue invoices.
Yeah.
So that is another welcome change.
Yeah.
But again, there can be an issue where you have one manufacturing unit who is suppose exempted and one which is dutiable.
Right.
Then how do you really physically send the inputs and make a note of that? That could be an issue.
But they will come out with the clarification in relation to these kind of where there are such kind of ambiguities. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait and watch. Now let's go to customs. There are not many changes under customs and excise actually. This is relating to this definition of warehouse. Earlier it was only government warehouse which was defined. Now they've added private warehouses, but it has to be with physical control.
Yeah.
So that is what they're saying. Provisions relating to rent and all. The earlier no rates have been prescribed now and by the government, and private warehouses can apply their own rates as they want. And earlier we had to give a bond for such warehouses, which was twice the amount. Now it is thrice the amount. Though your money is not blocked, still I think that would make an impact.
Yeah.
Again, over here the power to issue show cause notice has been amended to increase increase the period of limitation from 1 year to 2 years in cases not involving fraud, suppression, facts, willful misstatement. So under customs from 1 year to 2 years.
Yeah.
There are certain duty changes which are there. Exemption from SAD on populated PCBs required for manufacture. So I think 4% SAD would be applicable, and there would be no refund unless it's traded.
Yeah.
So import cost may be increased over here. Populated PCBs of mobile phone and tablet computers have been excluded. Again the same thing, here 2% SAD has been.
But that is to give fillip to make in India policy. Because
Huh.
if your import goes up, then
Obviously you will start manufacturing in India. Now duty-free baggage allowance is permitted worth 50,000, which was earlier 45,000.
Yeah.
And 15% to tourists arriving in India from country other than Nepal, Bhutan and Myanmar. So only 5,000 is increased.
Yeah.
Let's look at the, we have not taken the tariff changes and anything. For that, probably in case anybody wants to ask anything, can just call us and ask.
Right.
Under excise also not really too many changes other than majorly changes which are there in ready-made garments
Yes.
and in jewellery. So under ready-made garments, on payment of excise duty 2% without credit and excise duty with 12.5 with SENVAT credit. This above option is available on to branded ready-made garments with RSP which is more than 1,000
rupees.
The assessable value for purpose of payment of excise duty and for computing the small scale exemption will be 60% of the RSP. And for stocks lying in from February 2016, they need to obtain a CS certificate.
Right. That's only a statutory requirement.
Yeah, and there are a lot of procedures which they've given. So those procedures probably
Right.
you have to take permission from the AC and
Yeah.
a lot of other. And as far as jewellery, other than silver, diamond, and precious metals, on payment of excise duty 1% without SENVAT and 12.5 with SENVAT. Exemption for first clearances up to 6 crores during financial year if his aggregate domestic clearances preceding financial year is less than 12 crore. These are the only changes, and again procedural changes.
Right. I think apart from this, there are two others, software you would want to touch upon.
Yeah. Software, branded software which has, not branded, I think
RSP, which is
RSP, which
yeah.
has an RSP,
Right.
will be included, which will be leviable, excise duty will be leviable on that.
Right.
And something which does not have an RSP
Yeah.
will be taxed on service tax.
This is in relation to a customized software.
Correct.
Because so that on these kind of a transactions, there's only one type of a levy. It is not duplicating where you have an excise duty and service tax.
Correct. And this retail sale price will be under section 4A.
Section 4, yeah.
This is MRP based, they have extended. MRP based, they have added aluminum foils, smart watches, accessories and motor vehicles,
Yeah.
and soap, organics, surface active product and preparation of soap. So these are the changes that they made. They have come under MRP section 4A.
Yeah.
There's something called an infrastructure cess that they have introduced. These are applicable to vehicles basically, petrol driven vehicles, diesel driven vehicles and other higher engine. So this is something new. This is also effective from 1st of March 2016. There are certain simplified procedures and guidelines, again effective from 1st of March. Registration will be granted in 2 days, which was earlier 7 days.
Yeah.
There's no post-registration physical verification of premises. Earlier what used to happen, if you want to take a registration, then somebody would come and verify your premises, and also that is not required now. Optional centralized central excise registration for jewellery manufacturers and centralized billing accounting system. So this is a good change. Simplified return procedure for manufacturing obtaining 1% duty or SINVAT credit. Not too many changes actually. The levy is based on self-assessment and no physical visits again, and registered units in normal course. Job workers manufacturing jewellery from supply made by principal manufacturer not mandated to take excise registration. So that is again because there are a lot of small people who are job workers for these jewelry. There are certain legislative changes like section 11A. This is amended that show cause notice. Again, it's like customs only. Period of limitation from one year to 2 years, not involving fraud, suppression of facts and all. And Rule 9 provides excise threshold to file 13 returns, which earlier were 12, and total I think were 27. Now they have reduced it to 13. So again, this is a move towards GST. Now they have also given a facility for revision of returns, which was not there for manufacturers. It was only for service providers.
Right.
So this is again a good change. Rule 11 has been amended for transporter's copy that no manual attestation. So this can have a digital signature now. So again, this is really good. Otherwise, every transporter on which credit needs to be taken had to be signed manually. So now digital signature is also. So this is again a very, very good. I think lot of procedure will be saved on that. Duty exemptions to importer, manufacturer based on self-declaration earlier, they were required to obtain permission from the excise authorities. Now you don't need to do that.
Right.
So these are the only changes which are there in excise and other things. So I think all in all they have issued some 60 notifications under excise, service tax and customs altogether.
Yeah.
And most of these, as I said earlier, they have just reworded a lot of things here and there to make it a musical precision, I can say, for providing, for business and Make in India policy.
Right. So, thank you, Shilpa, for your presentation. I take this opportunity to thank you and the team who had worked on the presentation. But before we finish, we can take up maybe the queries, or what is your take on GST?
See, right now they've not really, I think there was only one mention of GST in the whole budget speech.
Right.
But the kind of changes that they've made, I feel that there are certain things like, a lot of negative list they've removed and put in exemption
Yes.
In exemptions,
Right.
mega exemptions.
Right.
And slowly they want to phase out the exemptions.
Right.
And then returns. From 27 returns, they've come to 13 returns.
Right.
So, it is a small step towards GST, that's what I feel. And maybe not now, they may just come out with it, suddenly. So, I don't think, that is at the back seat right now. That's my take on that.
So there were two things in my mind, one, of course, what was taking rounds was that maybe the government is going to increase service tax by another 2%, because then it would have made around 16.5%. But instead of doing that, they've just brought in a KKC, which is assessed and which is also creditable. But they're still, pondering over that 18% service tax, which is to be enshrined in the constitution as per the Congress party. So
maybe that is why they're getting all these cesses,
Yeah.
So you get used to it, like
Yeah.
it's like now it's 15%.
Right.
So you know that you have to pay 15%. So slowly, they may add certain cesses and come to 18% sometime.
Yes. And the other thing that was in my mind was, which was also taking, there was a lot of talk in the North Bloc, which was that they might come out with a CGST type of a situation where they're merging excise duty with service tax.
Correct.
Of course, it is within their parameters too. They can very well do that because they have to come out with the Finance Act. It's all part of the Finance Act, and they can merge excise with service tax. So any take on that? I mean, are they still pondering over the issue of GST?
Yes.
No date set. They have a political problem as of now. 5 states go to poll.
See, eventually, I think sometime they would want to do that, and they will do that.
Yeah.
They've already, prepared the drafts.
Yes.
Already the rules have come out.
Right.
Already, there's a lot of work already done.
Yeah.
So, because of this political hitch is the only thing.
Right.
But, somewhere we had read in between that they have agreed to most of the things. Congress has agreed to most of the things.
Yeah.
Other than that 18% rate, where they wanted to cap it and put it in the constitution itself.
Yes.
So, so that was the only hitch. So I think somewhere, maybe, few months or maybe a year down the line, that will be done.
Great. I think if we have any queries, we can.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, you can.
32 onwards. 32 onwards.
32 onwards. You want to take them now, or you want to take them later?
No, we can take it up them later also. We can reply to all these queries on mail. Perhaps maybe.
I think because the time is...
because of paucity of time.
Direct tax has taken too much of time.
Yeah. So I thank you. I take this liberty to thank you, and thank you all listeners for listening to us patiently. And if you have any queries, you can always
get in touch with us.
Get in touch with shilpa@vaishlaw.com and shami@vaishlaw.com, and we'll be glad to answer all your queries in a shorter time. Thank you.
Thank you.